Okay, what we're going to learn today is some of the differences or some of the characteristics of proteins and nucleic acids. Now, proteins are made up of long chains of these guys right here. These are called amino acids, and they're called amino acids for a pretty simple reason. They contain a nitrogen combined to two hydrogens. That is called an amine or an amino group. They contain this R group. Now, that R group is actually what's called an organic variable. So that can be anything that has carbon in it. In reality, what makes the difference, there are about 20 different amino acids that your body uses, is they all have the top is the same. They have an amine group at the top. They have this thing, carbon linked to oxygen hydrogen, which is an organic acid called a carboxyl. And then they have this R group. There are 20 different possible groups there. So that's what makes all the different types of amino acids. Amino acids are things like alanine, phenylalanine, isoleucine, all have different R groups, and that's why they're different. All right, so those are the things that make up proteins. Now, the other thing you need to know is that proteins, and if you take a look at this, this is two amino acids side by side. If you actually take a look at that, what you can see is that the two amino acids are linked together by a dehydration synthesis reaction, and you wind up with a carbon linked to a nitrogen. That kind of bond is called a peptide bond. All right, so you always wind up with a lot of peptide bonds when you make proteins, because proteins are made up of a huge long chain of amino acids linked together. All right, so that's proteins. Nucleic acids are built up out of nucleotides. They're, again, a different kind of organic molecule. They're built up out of nucleotides. Now, the couple things you need to understand about nucleotides, the ring-shaped structure is a sugar. There's a base, which we're going to talk about this a lot more when we get to DNA. And then they also have a phosphate group. The only thing I really want you to know is that there are two kinds of sugars that are found in nucleotides, and that's what makes the different nucleic acids. If the sugar is ribose, well, then the nucleotide is called, the nucleic acid is called ribose nucleic acid. If the sugar that's found in the nucleotide is deoxyribose, well, then it's DNA or deoxyribose nucleic acid. So those are the different terms that you just need to understand, is that the sugar found in DNA is deoxyribose, sugar found in RNA is ribose. Nucleotide, building block of protein, is a structure that has a phosphate, a sugar, and a base in it. And then these guys over here, amino acids, aminos, are the building blocks of proteins. The amino acids you can recognize them because they have an amine group, an organic variable, and a carboxyl group. And when you link them together, they form a peptide bond. There's a lot of terminology you need to know, so you want to be kind of careful to spend a little time studying at a time.